Hello, everyone. Welcome to our live Arduino Cloud Café. My name is Julie. I'm from Arduino, and I'm your host for today's session. I hope you had a chance to grab a nice cup of coffee or tea, and that you're just as excited as I am to join the discussion. Today, we'll be talking about IoT, home automation, connected do-it-yourself projects, and we'll introduce you to the latest of Arduino Cloud. So there are some really exciting news to share. But before we get started, a quick reminder, we'll be collecting your questions throughout the sessions. So we'll plan to address them in the second part of the webinar. So please do not hesitate to leave them in the comment section, whether you are watching that webinar from Facebook, LinkedIn, or YouTube. And please don't hesitate to share them because your participation is very important to us. Now, let me introduce you to our speakers for today. First, we have David, who is product manager for Arduino Cloud. Hi, David.
Hello, good afternoon, Julie, and the rest of the audience. Welcome, everyone.
Yeah, David is here today to introduce you to the latest of Arduino Cloud, and he'll also answer some of your questions too at the end. We also have Sachin Soni here today. Hi, Sachin.
Hi, Julie. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining this live stream. Hope we have great fun talking about IoT and cloud.
Yeah, great. Sachin is an IoT enthusiast, a maker, and you probably know his YouTube channel, Techiesms. He has shared amazing content on this channel. So yeah, the link, we'll share the link throughout the session. Our third host for today is Christian. Hi, Christian.
Hello, welcome everybody.
Christian is a developer in the cloud team, and he'll be helping us answer some of the questions as well. And we also have Mattia here. Hi, Mattia.
Hello. Thank you. Hello, everybody.
Mattia is an Arduino Cloud firmware developer, and he can also help address some of the questions that relate to firmware, hardware, and our boards in general. So we've got the best people here at the table to talk about IoT. So now let's jump into the agenda. Thank you. So first, we'll kick things off with an overview of the cloud. It will be David talking. David will also share a live walkthrough of the platform. He'll also be sharing a live polls to get your feedback throughout the session. So those polls are very quick to fill, and it will help us drive the discussion. So please be ready to scan the QR code or go to the link that we'll share, and you can just fill out the form quickly on your phone. Then we will hear from Sachin present a couple of IoT projects that he made using the cloud. And finally, we will want to hear from you. So the last 20 minutes of the discussion of the session will be just about your questions. So get ready to engage. Send us your questions right away. We will start reviewing them during the session. Now, I'd like to hand it over to David for an insight into the Arduino Cloud. Over to you, David.
Okay, thank you very much, Julie, for this warm introduction, and welcome everyone to this live session. As Julie has introduced, this is the first one of a new series of live events related to Arduino Cloud, where we will try to give you useful and insightful information about what's going on the cloud, and additional, and I think that even more importantly, we are going to get your feedback with your questions and solving your doubts and so on. So today, as the first edition of this series, I will open with a short introduction of Arduino Cloud. I promise that I'll keep it short as we will want to see Sachin's projects. And after the intro, I'll speak briefly about the new features that have been recently announced and introduced in the cloud. And then we will jump directly into Sachin's presentation. So, yeah, I guess that most of you are here because you want to build a do-it-yourself and IoT project. Then you're probably one of these two guys, okay? On the one hand, we have these nerdy guys who love getting their hands dirty with electronics, the guys whose home office looks like a small, crazy laboratory, okay? They get an Arduino or an ESP32 board and start connecting cables with some sensors. Then they put everything in an enclosure and voila, they have a self-made product ready to use. Okay, I'm completely sure that many of you feel reflected on this stereotype, okay? On the other hand, we have these other people who love purchasing ready-to-use commercial appliances, a Zigbee temperature sensor here, a thermostat there, some Wi-Fi, smart sockets, etc. It's not that they don't love playing with electronics sometimes, but it is just, it can be a matter of free time to spend on it. Okay, sometimes it is even cheaper to buy than to create. And it can be even equally satisfying for some users too. So in my personal case, I must confess that I consider myself a creator at heart, but I feel that I don't have enough time for it, and I have become an eventual integrator. Okay, and to be honest, it's fun either way. Okay, so the satisfaction is mainly in the process of creating and integrating. Okay, and ultimately in having full control over your setup. So this is the first of the posts that Julie has mentioned that we are going to post. Okay, so this is very simple. Just scan the QR code or click on the link, and then tell us if you feel that you are a creator or an integrator. Okay, so the point is that both kinds of users actually have something in common. Okay, at the end of the day, they want to monitor and control what they have built. And here is where Arduino Cloud comes to the rescue. It is a platform that helps both creators and integrators to monitor and control their IoT projects. It's extremely easy to create dashboards where you can see the real-time status of your sensors data and the temporal evolution of them and so on. And you can monitor your devices from your browser, but also from your mobile phone using the IoT remote app. Okay, think, for instance, how easy it is to create an Arduino project. Okay, that's the basis of the success of Arduino. But Arduino Cloud just extends that experience to IoT monitoring. But Arduino Cloud is not only that. It also helps users develop their projects, providing them with an alternative online IDE. Okay, so let's take a closer look at this. First, let's focus on creators. Okay, as we are in an Arduino context, our mind flies directly to projects creating using Arduino or ESP-based boards, as I mentioned earlier. But that's only part of the story, okay? There is much more, as we will see. So if we get started with those creators who are using Arduino or ESP boards, they typically use the Arduino IDE to develop the software of their creations, okay? Well, for them, now with Arduino Cloud, there is an alternative IDE, an alternative editor, okay? It's an online IDE inside Arduino Cloud. And it has many advantages, okay? You can work from anywhere. You can use it in machines where you can install applications, for instance, in Chromebooks. You don't have to deal with the installation of the application or system dependencies or the configuration or library management, all that. Everything is transparent for you. You can also keep your sketches safely stored in the cloud, okay? And last but not least, one of the coolest features of the platform, you can update the firmware of your devices remotely with over-the-air updates, okay? So in summary, for these kind of creators, you now have two alternatives to develop Arduino sketches and applications: the traditional Arduino IDE and the cloud editor. Hey, but David, okay, I don't care about C++ anymore. Okay, that's something of the past. I'm more interested in MicroPython. It's more flexible, portable, and much cooler. Okay, well, you can also connect your applications using MicroPython. Arduino has a MicroPython editor, and we provide you with the libraries that help you create applications that can be monitored using Arduino Cloud dashboards. Okay, great. This is cool. But, you know, I have my applications, or some of my applications are running on Raspberry Pis, running on Linux, and they are programmed using Python and Node.js, and they use VS Code. Okay, I'm another kind of creator. Well, there is also a solution for you, okay? We have Python and Node.js libraries that simplify the connection to Arduino Cloud. Just use your preferred development environment to create your projects and connect them to the cloud, okay? But not only that, okay? You can also use Node-RED, okay, to create your projects easily, okay? That's also a very convenient way to create IoT projects. Cool, but okay, what if I'm an integrator? I already have systems running at home, and one of the issues that I have is that each of them have their own application, and I'm the whole day jumping from one app to the other. I wish I had only one platform to manage them all. Okay, that's precisely where Arduino Cloud fits very well. Okay, so the only thing that you have to do is to create a simple middleware that connects your devices or the platform with Arduino Cloud. You can use it using Node-RED, which is a very convenient tool for that, okay, as it has plenty of nodes to connect most of the popular platforms or devices out there. but you can develop your own one using Python, JavaScript, or even C++. And many examples to help you with this. Okay, so check them out at Project Hub. And last but not least, we have many additional integrations with external platforms like Alexa, IFTTT, Zapier, or Google services. Okay, so I encourage you to check out to our documentation and take a look at it. I'm not going to stop in the details. Just feel free to ask anything during in your comments, and we will try to reply that. Okay, so that's a very short and brief introduction of the cloud. And now that we have a better understanding of what it is, let's move on about the latest features that have been added to Arduino Cloud recently. This last month has been really exciting for us, okay, as we did a major announcement. We introduced the renewed UI of Arduino Cloud. This has been the result of many months of work, okay, but the most exciting part is that it is basically the result of getting the feedback from the community and the existing users of the platform. Okay, so, and that's extremely valuable for us. Now we have a more integrated, easier to use, and cleaner interface. And we have added many cool features too. Okay, so, and yeah, I think that it is also very cool compared to the previous one. It is much cooler too. So let me show you how of these some of these new features that have been introduced. For instance, the support for Python, MicroPython, and JavaScript that I mentioned earlier. It has been a major one. Now you are not restricted to monitor and control only Arduino or ESP boards. Okay, so as I said, you can develop your applications in your favorite programming language and monitor them from the cloud. We have also introduced triggers and notifications. Okay, this feature allows you to receive real-time alerts in your mobile phone or email. And not only that, it sets the foundations for a more advanced system of managing triggers and actions that will be configured in the cloud. We will be introducing more conditions and actions progressively during the next year. Okay, this is a really, really exciting feature that was introduced recently in the cloud. But the updates have not been exclusively constrained to the platform itself. Okay, so there is a mobile app. Okay, and they have the updates have also reached the mobile app. The IoT remote app, which is the name of the app, has been receiving some major updates during the last months, including some features like dark mode, new widgets, push notifications, workspace management, sorting the dashboards, this kind of stuff. So, okay, here we have the next poll that we said that we were going to post. You can give us your feedback about which is the feature that you feel most excited about. Okay, just click on the link or scan the QR code. So now, without further ado, I would like to just give you a quick live tour through the platform. So let me share my screen and browser. Okay, we can see it here. Cool. And yeah, as you can see, the new platform is very clean, and there is a very convenient navigation panel on the left-hand side. Okay, that helps you jump easily to any section on the platform. Again, in this homepage, we have also shortcuts here, which are quick actions to the most common actions in the platform. And using the navigation panel or the shortcuts, we can navigate to the different sections. To the sketches, for instance, we have here two different kinds of sketches: the traditional ones, okay, the traditional Arduino sketches, or the IoT sketches, which are the ones that allow your devices to be connected to the cloud. Okay, so that's why we have here the thing and devices connected to the cloud. We can also navigate through the devices, and we can see, for instance, the device status history of the devices. We can jump to the things. The things are, I didn't want to stop, or I don't want to stop a lot in the details, but the things are the abstraction that holds the intelligence of the device. Okay, so it keeps the sketch and the variables. Okay, and the device is the hardware abstraction layer. So we can navigate through the things here, and if we click on one of them, for instance, we can see the variables that we are populating to the cloud and the code that it is going to be running on the device. Or we can go to the triggers. The triggers, as I said, is a very cool feature. that allows you to be informed of everything that's going on in your setup, in your IoT projects, either via email or in notifications in your mobile phone. And we have also the dashboards that I think that it is the most interesting part of the monitoring and control of the devices. Okay, so for instance, what I want to show you is how I control my home setup here. So this is a panel that I have where I'm showing in real time the power consumption of my home and the power which is generated by the solar panels that I have at home. Okay, so now it's getting darker here, so it's very, very, very little power generated, but we can see here the evolution during the last days, for instance, or during the last hour. Okay, and same thing we can see, for instance, the temperature is monitored here. I have also the evolution over time. I can switch it on and off. All these applications are based on commercial devices. Okay, I'm using Node-RED to integrate everything. So the good point is that I don't need to be opening 3 or 4 mobile apps. Okay, so I have everything just here in 1 or 2 panels and in my IoT remote app. So for instance, here we can see what we can achieve by monitoring the power, the energy consumption of my home. Okay, so yeah, I thought that this could be a very good way to understand at a glance what you can achieve with the cloud. Okay, and all this is achieved using this kind of very simple Node-RED. Sorry, I was not sharing the screen. Okay, so these very simple Node-RED flows. Okay, so let me go back to this. And I wanted just to show you also that you also have a ton of resources, okay, that are very interesting. You have the links to the forum, to Discord, to the documentation. You can access our courses and IoT templates. IoT templates, I think that are also a very, very cool feature of the platform because you can deploy. It's a way of deploying an application on your device. So you deploy the firmware on it, but you also get a dashboard automatically. Okay, so it's very, very, very convenient because you don't have to create the dashboard and the software and so on. And then, of course, you can modify it for your specific use case if you want to learn more and experiment. Cool. Okay, so coming back to the presentation, and I promised that I was going to be quick. Just wanted to announce that what's coming up next. And very, very, very soon, at the beginning of next year, we will announce a new cloud editor. Okay, it will be a unified editor that brings the traditional Arduino IDE experience to the cloud. We're really excited about it, to be honest. Okay, so it's not only a UX improvement, but it also sets the foundation for new features that can be implemented in this new editor. So stay tuned for that. And that was it from my side. Okay, I hope you got a grasp of what Arduino Cloud is and what you can achieve with it. So yeah, and I expect that you found out that you can do much more with Arduino Cloud than you imagined before this short introduction. So over to Julie.
Thank you, David. That was great. So in a minute, Sachin will take over to present his projects. But right before we jump into that, I wanted to share that for a limited time, we will be offering a free month of our Maker Plan. So with this plan, you can really experience the cloud, the Arduino Cloud to its full potential with amazing features such as over-the-air updates, triggers and notifications on the phone, dashboard sharing, and you will get 3 months of that data retention and much, much more. So all you need to do is scan the QR code here or go to the arduino.cc/plans. You will have to apply the voucher Café 2023 at checkout. And it's just like a regular transactional process, but you won't be charged for the first month. So you can cancel anytime your subscription plan. It's just for you to really test the platform and see what cool things you can do within it. Um, so that's it. I will hand over to Sachin now.
Okay, thank you so much, Julie. So, first of all, thank you so much, David, for like taking you through the complete platform tour, and also to show us what Arduino is coming up with the new features, everything. So we are always excited when Arduino comes up with the new things. So thank you so much for that lovely tour. And for all those who are watching me live, hello everyone. Myself, Sachin Soni. Those who don't know me, I'm a content creator. I'm a maker. I used to make different electronics and IoT projects, and I upload that content on my YouTube channel. So I love to play with electronics, and Arduino, Arduino stayed with me since very beginning. And I think most of my audience, like who follow me on Instagram and YouTube, shares the same story. Like Arduino was the one with the help of which we all people started our electronics and programming journey. If I talk about myself, I started with the Arduino Mega and Arduino IDE to start my programming and like making journey, interfacing the sensors and making different projects. Then back to 2016 when the Espressif launched that chipset, I still use that chipset and program the like coding. For the coding, I use the Arduino IDE only. So once I started using it, it was never looking back. And at the time when I came to know about that Arduino launched their own cloud platform, like till that time I already started working with different cloud platforms. But when Arduino announced that they are coming with the IoT platform, I was so excited because I want to really see what Arduino has to offer to IoT enthusiasts like me, the makers like me. So I explored your platform. I started learning about it. I started making things on it, and I also made a complete getting started video of it, which is uploaded on my YouTube channel. And the fact that video is still the most viewed video on my channel, with currently I guess more than 370,000 plus views. So that clearly states that Arduino people really interested in Arduino IoT Cloud. So first of all, thank you so much, team, for coming up with such an amazing, easy to use, super useful, super interesting platform. Okay, so now I'm here to showcase some of my project that I made with the help of Arduino IoT Cloud. Okay, so the project which I made, the first project which I'm going to showcase, is one of my best automation based series. It's called as the all-in-one home automation project. It's something like this. Okay, so why it is called as all-in-one home automation? Because it got a lot of features in it. So this small little device, which has two different variants by the way, can help you to control your home appliances. Now typical DIY projects only help us to control the lights and like turning on and off the lights, turning on and off the fan. But this little device got your fan speed control circuit as well in it. So you can control 4 lights, you can control the speed of the fan, you can monitor the live temperature humidity sensors data. It got that feature. You can control those appliances with the help of IR remote, with your TV remote, with your radio remote. It got that feature. And if you don't want to do anything, you don't want to control using phone, IR remote and Alexa, it still got covered the old school switches. Okay, so you can still control the projects with the help of the still control the appliances with the help of those switches. Okay, so I tried to make this project with the help of Arduino Nano board. Previously I also made with the ESP32 board as well. So let me showcase you like how this project works. And what I believe personally is, if you are able to implement your project and use it in your day-to-day life, well, that is a very different feeling in itself. You feel really great to build something that you are using daily, and that is something which I'm doing right now. So here I'm at my studio. This is the Techiesms studio. So currently where I'm sitting is my studio section where I shoot the videos, and this section is my lab section where where people come to work. We have the shouldering station, as you can see, the maker space kind of feeling you must be getting, right? So it's late in India right now. It's around 10 p.m. So no one is here, but yeah, this is the working space. And above that we have all the lights and fans and everything, and all those things are connected via cloud. Okay, so at that position I have the all-in-one home automation project already installed. And if you want to see it closer, so it's something like this. So all my lights and fans and everything are connected with this little hardware. Now don't judge this kind of wires, because we at our studio always love to play with different hardwares, different coding, different cloud platform. So we used to keep this thing open so that we can easily change and replicate and try out new things. Okay, this kind of hardwares are installed everywhere in our studio, made by ourselves. And on the right you can see my what you can say, the Arduino IoT Cloud, the IoT remote application on my smartphone. and let's just try to control or interact with the appliances with the help of the application. As you can see, I'm able to control my studio lights quite instantaneously. So this kind of things I love in the IoT platforms. The amount of latency, like how low latency it is, it's almost instantaneous. And not only I can control the lights, but as you can see, I can control the speed of the fan. So I turned on at 25%. As you can see, the fan started at a very slow speed, so speed 1, and I can make it to the maximum speed 100, which is the speed level 4. Okay, so that's how I can control my whole studio. And not only control, I can monitor as well. Like it has a DHT sensor built in. So currently the temperature in my studio is around 26 degrees Celsius with a humidity of 31 percentage. Okay, so that was the home automation project, which the all-in-one home automation project which I made with the help of Arduino IoT Cloud. Okay, so this is something which I want to show you, but there is something more which I want to share with you. So what happened is, I'm a very curious guy, I'm a very passionate guy. So what happened once is, I was going through my short videos like Instagram reels and YouTube shorts, and there I found one video in which it was a super luxurious car, okay, super expensive luxurious car, and that car was having a portable, you can say a touch screen or maybe a tablet kind of thing, with the help of which you can control the car completely. Like you can turn up and down the windows, you can open the doors, you can control the AC vents, you can control your seat ventilation, you can open the sunroof, you can do all those tasks with the help of the tiny little tablet kind of thing. And that made me feel that how amazing it will be if I can make such similar thing for my studio, where I can monitor, control everything with that palm now, with that small little tablet kind of thing. And guess what, a couple of months back, Arduino released their new device called as Arduino Giga Display Shield. So this is a touch screen, and on the back they have the Arduino Giga R1 Wi-Fi board, which is doing all the calculations and controlling everything. Okay, so when I got this in my hand, I was like, hey Sachin, it's time to do that project of controlling and monitoring everything through this tiny little device. And finally, after a lot of efforts, of course, I was able to make such projects. So let me show you that demo of the project which I made, and this is the second project. And that's how, like, what you can say, I used to get new ideas about projects. So first of all, let me show you the UI. So this is the complete UI of this Arduino home automation or home remote, you can say, where I got the name of the project, which is all-in-one home automation using the cloud. Then I got the two, what you can say, speedometer kind of thing, which is to represent the temperature and humidity reading. So temperature is as you see, 26 degrees Celsius, and the humidity is 31%. I got 4 buttons here and a fan status to control the speed of the fan. But this kind of a IoT remote, and this is working over internet. And let me show you its live demo as well, because as I said, I really love those kind of projects which can be implemented in real life. Okay, so as you can see right now, all the things are turned off. Okay, and I'll take my IoT remote, and if I turn on the light one, okay, as you can see, the light one got turned on. Similarly, I can turn on all the 4 lights from my IoT remote itself, and we are getting the temperature and humidity value data on the screen in real time, so it's not an issue. And not only the lights, but as you can see, the fan, just a second, let's just focus. Okay, the fan is in the off position right now, and I can control the fan speed from here. Okay, let me just focus it. Okay, so fan speed at 25, so that's the speed 1, you can say. And the fan started, it started at the speed 1. And what cool feature, what cool thing about this thing, this whole thing is built on Arduino. Okay, so this is a separate project running on Arduino Cloud. That one is a separate project running on the Arduino Cloud, but with the help of one single click, I can link both the projects. And as you can see, I can not only control it from the screen, but on the right hand side, you can see the real-time feedback of this display I'm getting on the application. So if I turn off one light, if I turn off one light, the data will be reflected in the what you can see, the IoT remote app as well. Let me show you the demo of that. Okay, so I turned off the light one. As you can see on the phone screen, the light one got turned off. So both the device are different devices on the cloud, but they are linked with each other with the help of the feature from Arduino IoT Cloud. So those were two projects which I made using Arduino IoT Cloud, and I felt really happy to make this thing because they are installed at my studio. So whenever you come to India, maybe you can experience these things at my studio. Okay, so it's open for all the makers all the time. So thank you so much. I hope you all people loved my project. And if you want to make such kind of projects, well, as I said, I run a YouTube channel. I covered all those projects on my YouTube channel. So as I showed you two of the project, like the all-in-one home automation and that IoT remote, both the projects detailed tutorial video is live on my YouTube channel. Not only the video, but the sketches I used for making this thing is also available for free of cost. It's open source. You can get it on my GitHub repository. So yeah, that was all from my side, all the projects, and I hope you guys loved it.
Thank you very much, Sachin. It is so inspiring to see you in action, to be honest. I'm used to watching you on your channel and so on, so I'm very used to your backgrounds and so on. But I think it is even cooler to see what is happening behind the curtains and see the crazy life that you have behind, which is precisely the kind of crazy thing that I was that I was referring to when I was describing the creators.
Okay, yeah, so I'm a creator, by the way.
Yeah, I know. So yeah, just I want to remind people that they can post their questions in the comments. Okay, we will read them out loud in just 5 minutes. I just want to ask Sachin a couple of questions, but just a quick reminder that they can ask the questions in their comments, and we will be answering them there in the comments, but we will probably read them, all of them, out loud in 5 minutes. So I just wanted to ask you a couple of questions about the project, sure. Sachin. Okay, so it's basically, I'm curious about the process that you follow to create your projects. Okay, so what's the rationale behind selecting the board? If you are using the cloud editor, or if you are still a traditional guy that is using the offline IDE, which are the libraries that you are using, this kind of stuff. So I'm a bit curious about that, if you can give us some information about it.
Sure. So my process will be a bit different as compared to a traditional maker, because along with a maker, I'm also kind of an influencer, like people watching me to learn something new, to replicate. So what happens is, before I decide how to make that project, I need to keep in mind that I should make a project that can be easily replicated by my audience. It's easy to understand, easy to make, easy to get the resources and all kind of things. So that is kind of a thing which I need to take into the mind before making any project. And if you talk about the hardware and IDE, well, IDE is always like Arduino IDE is the obvious choice for most of my videos. So I already uploaded more than 400 videos on my channel, and I think 90% of the project uses Arduino IDE. Other 10% are the videos of MicroPython, maybe, or Raspberry Pi. But when it comes to C++, I think Arduino is accepted by majority of the makers and engineers, and it's quite easy to use. So I think Arduino IDE will be my obvious choice as of now, and maybe in the future. Talking about the hardware, well, it truly depends upon the kind of project we are making. To require LoRa, the Wi-Fi, and everything. But currently, as the IoT market is, most of the people are moving towards the expressive chipsets, right, for the IoT based projects, because those has again the point of like why going for expressive chipset is it has quite a great integration with the Arduino IDE itself. So when we get the new hardware, we are sure that, hey, Arduino got us covered. We will be able to use that hardware with the help of Arduino IDE. Okay, so we are rest assured for that. So it truly depends upon the kind of the project, the requirement of it. Do we require Wi-Fi or not, or it doesn't require any radio connection, everything. And the third about the library and the third party software as well. Again, I prefer to use those kind of things which are truly open source, okay, which are more reliable, has a community support. Yeah, community support is a really big thing, because we make any project, there are 100% chances that we'll end up one or other error. So if you have a great community support of a particular library, well, that will be that will increase our chances to make that project in a working condition. So I think this kind of points I used to see before making the project, because I need to make sure that my audience can also make that project. So yeah, those kind of points I
That,
need to take in
that's a,
consideration.
I think that that's a very interesting point because I feel, I mean, you are a person who is teaching other people
Yeah,
to use technology, okay?
yeah,
But it is true that makers in general, they usually tend to create things that they would like other users to use too, okay?
yeah.
So I think that that's probably also a mindset that for that many creators and many makers have. In fact, for instance, whenever I create something, I'm
Mhm.
always thinking about the GitHub project that I'm going to work on, okay? So that I can share that information with other people. Okay, so that's
Correct.
precisely. So do you usually create the GitHub project for all your projects, or do you have
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
everything there?
No. So what happens is I'm a more of a guy who can speak and express, that you guys must have seen in my presentations. I'm good at expressing the things. So I used to try to cover all the things about the project in the video itself. And I use GitHub just to give out some important stuff like the sketches, the libraries, the version to library version, and the connection diagram sometimes. So those kind of basic things I used to put on GitHub. Otherwise everything will be in the video itself, because I'm kind of an expressive guy, so I like to do this video stuff.
Okay, just out of curiosity,
Yeah.
these two projects that you have presented, do any of them have multiple file sketches, or are they just single file sketches?
So this one it does has a multiple file sketches, because this is using what you can say, many different things are running in the background. So this is using the LVGL library, the light and versatile graphics library. So this one definitely uses the multiple libraries, but the other one for controlling, it's just a single file code, you can say.
Okay,
Yeah.
and the one for with multiple file sketches, are you using the cloud editor or the offline ID? Just out of curiosity.
So for multiple files, I landed up on the offline editor. But for the home automation one, I preferred that cloud editor, and I really like that, because the, using the cloud editor, we can be sure that our file will be saved into the cloud. We don't need to carry our files. Don't need to carry our laptop with us. So that kind of single file project, I use the online one, but for multiple files, I am still into the offline one right now.
Okay. We are going to jump shortly to the audience questions. Okay, so I just
Okay.
wanted to finish and wrap this conversation, but I was also curious. You mentioned during your presentation
Yeah.
that you were kind of surprised about the low latency of the platform. Okay, which
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
cool. Okay, it's
Yeah.
actually true that it reacts very quickly, and I think that
Yes.
it is something very very nice to have in mind. And I would like to ask you, what's the most outstanding, or I don't know, the most valuable cloud feature from your point of view of the platform?
So obviously, see, the cloud, the latency is latency is the very first thing that anyone using any cloud will notice. This is the very first and foremost thing. So I think if you are planning to go like for a IoT cloud, you should definitely focus on the latency. But if I talk about the features that Arduino got, well, I really impressed with the feature. So you guys not only covered the data transfer part, right? The IoT part, like transferring data from one device to another, but you also took care about the maker community. Like, you have made a complete cloud editor, so you no longer, as I said before, you no longer need to carry your laptop. I can use my friend's laptop, I can log into my account, I can still do some changes and upload that code using the OTA. It's quite a convenient thing, and let me tell you, it's quite a unique thing, because as a content creator, I used a couple of IoT platforms, and this feature I didn't find in any of the other IoT platforms, and it's super duper useful. And whosoever's idea was like for adding this cloud editor, it was a fantastic idea. So I really appreciate that kind of idea. So that is a
Yeah.
really unique feature.
Okay, thank you very much for your feedback. Okay, so let's get started with the audience questions.
Yeah.
We have here a couple of questions for you, Sachin. So we have one one person who is saying, how did you get the courage to start such projects? And do you have any background in electronics? I usually feel insufficient in some areas because to be honest, it cuts across several disciplines and or skills.
Okay.
So
So wow. So how did you get the courage to start such project, and do you have the background? So I don't think this required courage. what it requires is your passion. Okay, so I am a really passionate guy. I'm curious, always curious about electronics. So you saw in my presentation that I'm so curious. Like even while watching the Instagram reels and YouTube shorts, my mind was focusing on, oh wow, how this is working. What if I can make this thing? So this is all due to my passion. It doesn't require extra effort, and I got curious to make it, and eventually I landed on making this thing. So David, this kind of question people ask me that, hey Sachin, how you get the ideas? How, because it's already like more than 400 videos on our channel, and how I generate the ideas. So I think if you're truly passionate, your mind, your subconscious mind will always throw you a lot of ideas, a lot of solutions. So I think it doesn't require courage; it requires enough passion to do the things.
Okay, there was a question about describing the range of monitoring sensors, and I'm not completely sure if I understand the question, but I think that it is something for you, Sachin. I think that they are figuring out if you are connecting remotely with different sensors that you have there and so on. So what's the range? So I don't know if you can answer that or not.
Can I show the? Can I see the question?
Yeah, the question was something like, please describe the range of monitoring sensors. I think that that's a question for you, for the range of the.
I'm really sorry. I didn't get the question. I can see.
Yeah, the question is, please describe the range of monitoring sensors. So they are referring if you are using some kind of Wi-Fi or
Range of monitoring sensors, but it's completely over internet. So I think until unless you are connected with internet, the world is the limit. You can control and monitor from any corner of the world until unless you have the internet access. So there is no range, because I'm not using the local area network. I'm using the IoT, the cloud network. So I think there is no particular limitation of the range.
Okay. So let me start reading some of the questions. Most of them have been already replied in the comments. Okay, but I think that it is. But I think that it is worth reading them out loud. So the first one, notifications also on iPhone. How? Through an app? Yes, absolutely. Okay, so there is the mobile app that I described earlier, which is available for both iOS and Android. Okay, and we have this cool feature which is triggers a notification, and then you configure in the cloud the conditions that are going to trigger specific notifications, and then you can decide if you are going to send the notifications via email or via push notification in your app. Okay, so if you have the app installed in your iPhone, then you will be able to receive your notifications. Okay, more things. How can do the graphical user interface as shown in this video with Arduino code? Okay, I'm not completely sure if I understand the question, because we have seen two different kind of interfaces here. So the first one is what I showed are the dashboards. The dashboards are not created using any kind of Arduino code at all. It's just a drag and drop system where you just create a dashboard with widgets, and then you link the widgets to some variables, and that's it. It's a very easy to create thing. Then we have the dashboard that Sachin showed in the Giga board, and that's something that he definitely created using some Arduino code and so on, because that requires some coding. Okay, but that's a different part of the story. Okay, another question. Let me check. Why a Boolean variable still cannot trigger an Alexa notification? Okay, I don't know if I understand also what this means. Okay, so an Alexa notification is. I'm not completely sure if I understand this question. So I would require a little bit more of explanation of them. I don't know if Christian or Mattia, you can give some additional information. More things. Is it possible to embed data from Arduino Cloud into other web pages? Okay, this is a tricky question. So you can embedding the Arduino Cloud page into another page is something that you, of course, have to do on your own. That's not something easy to do. But what you can actually do is to communicate with the cloud using the API. So if you have your own web page, okay, and you want to visualize your data and you want to build your own system and so on based on the data that you have that way to interact with the cloud. Okay, so that's one way. And the other way is you can download the data and upload it in a different place. So all the data that you have in the dashboard can be downloaded in a CSV. So you can upload it to any to your systems and then to visualize it in your own platform and so on. Okay, there are a couple of questions about new features. So for instance, I hope in the near future support for stream video to Arduino Cloud. Thanks. So yeah, this is a very interesting thing, and thank you very much for your feedback. So that's precisely one of the things that we are working on. Okay, so we are working on expanding the type of data that we can send to the cloud. So we are planning also to incorporate not only video but also still pictures, images. Okay, so that's something that you need to stay tuned for the upcoming releases in the next year. Hello, I suggest to add more colors for the LED widget in the dashboard, so it's not restricted to red and green only. Okay, that's also a they are very good feedback always. We are always improving the platform with this kind of feedback from the users. And indeed, yes. Okay, so that's something that we do have in the backlog. Okay, so we are planning to improve all the widgets and the dashboards, and that's always one of the most important features that we have in the backlog to the improvement of the dashboards and the widgets. More things. Map dashboard on phones. Can you cover them also? Like how it works? I think that Christian replied this. I don't know, Christian, if you want to give more details. It's very straightforward, but I mean,
yeah, it's pretty straightforward. You can create a location variable which is linked to your map, and once you receive your once your sketch receive the location, longitude and latitude, you can do whatever you want. You can open a gate, you can turn off a light, etc. So yeah, definitely the answer is yes, you can do it.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, there are a couple of additional questions. Is it possible to force a restart of a ESP32 that is connected over the air? Had issues of a power cut and device not starting properly? As far as I know, no. Okay, unless you are defining variable to do so. So correct me if I'm wrong, Mattia or Christian, but that's not something that you can do. I mean, you can update it over there, and then you are forcing a reset. Okay, so that's an option.
Yeah,
But we don't. Yeah.
I mean, if the board is still connected to the cloud, you can link a Boolean variable to the ESP reset function that can trigger a software reset of the sketch of the board. But yeah, if board is not connected, there's no way to do it.
Okay.
Yeah. That's it. Okay, so I mean, you can implement it on your own. You can define a variable, a Boolean variable, for instance, and then you can trigger it using a button in the dashboard or something similar to trigger a reset. Or you can update it over there, and then ultimately you are rebooting the board too. There is also another question: is it possible to use I2C and Arduino IoT Cloud? Of course, absolutely yes. Okay, so you can. At the end of the day, they are different things. Okay, so you have a sketch running, you are interacting with the sensors and the peripherals that you have around and so on. Okay, so you are using SPI, I2C, Bluetooth, whatever. Okay, you can interact with GPIOs, whatever, and then all that data is populated to the cloud through variables. So it's a very straightforward process. More things. Is there any risk of hacking IoT made by Arduino? I'm not completely sure about the question, but this gives me the opportunity to speak about security. Okay, so I will speak a little bit about security. So most of all the Arduino boards have a secure element on board, a TPM. Okay, so we are storing there some of the credentials, the certificates that are used for the communications to the cloud. So all the communications are encrypted. These credentials are stored only when you program the device. Okay, so this is associated to you and your device, the one that you have provisioned in the cloud, and then all the communication with the cloud are completely secured. Of course, also we have the cloud deployed in this case is in AWS. Okay, so this is not secret. So we are using the state-of-the-art security features to keep everything secure, not only the communications but the information and so on. More questions here, and please help me if I'm filtering out some of them. This is an interesting question too. Why the cloud cannot be paid one time? Okay, the model that we currently have is a subscription model. Okay, so the cloud is free to use. Okay, so that's the first starting point and the important thing to say. So the cloud is you have a free tier that you can use with of course some limits, and then it is a subscription model where you renew your subscription periodically every year. But we are incorporating new models every time. Okay, so a one-time payment is not something that we are currently thinking of, to be honest. Okay, so we think that it is better to engage recurrently with the users, but that's of course something that could be worth exploring if many users are interested in that. Okay, more questions here. I don't know, Christian or Mattia, you have been answering some questions. Am I missing any questions that you can read out loud?
No, you covered basically everything.
There's a new one that I'm going to show on the screen. How easy is it to use any other systems language other than C in the editor, or does it only require the use of Arduino as a compilation target?
That's a very good question. So as I mentioned during the presentation, we have many ways to interact with the cloud. Okay, so the one which is embedded in the Arduino Cloud is the Arduino IDE, and then you have to use C or C++, the traditional Arduino sketches. If you are going to use Python, MicroPython, Node.js, Node-RED, whatever, okay, you need to develop that using your own tools, using VS Code or whatever kind of development environment you are more familiar with. So if you are going to use a different programming language, then you need to use your own development tools, with the exception of MicroPython, because Arduino provides a MicroPython editor. Okay, so we have a MicroPython editor that you can install in your PC, and then you can develop your applications using that editor. But it is not in the cloud. Okay, so that's something that it is still in the installed in your PCs. Okay, more things. Okay, there is this question about Alexa. I would suggest this user, Andy. Yeah, we will reach out to you to give you an answer, because to be honest, I think that this is probably a too technical question for this forum. Okay, to get into the details of the full question. Okay, so we will, as we will have the ability to answer the questions after the event, we will probably give you some feedback here, or we will reach out to you directly. Yeah, well, there are some other typical questions, and as there are some questions related to Alexa. Alexa's integration is very straightforward. Okay, so you actually don't have to do anything. Okay, so the only thing that you have to do is to select variables that are compatible with Alexa. So instead of selecting a Boolean variable, you select a cloud switch variable. Okay, and then whenever your device is connected at home, it is detected by Alexa. So it's extremely straightforward and easy. So there, yeah, I definitely encourage users to take a look at it. And yeah, there are other typical questions like if I can share dashboards with other people. The answer is yes. Okay, dashboards can be shared with your colleagues and friends and so on. And yeah, I think that's roughly it. Can we use PWM pins for controlling the speed of fan, Mr. Sachin? You can answer the question. Of course, the
Yeah,
answer
yeah,
is
yeah.
yes. Yeah, you can take it.
No, no problem. No. So yeah, so this no, we can't control the speed of the fan using PWM, but PWM is more for obviously PWM is for dimming, as we have learned, but it's for DC signals, not for the AC one. For AC, the things is totally different. So we have two kind of techniques to control the speed of the fan. One is using the triac, which takes the help of zero cross detection or ZCD. The second is the capacitive fan dimming, where we use the RC circuit, the RC filters to lower down the power. Okay, so these two are the ways to control the AC fan speed. PWM don't work in the AC. I hope this helps.
Yeah, it helps. Thank you very much, Sachin. There is a question about Maker 1310 and the difference between sleep and deep sleep. I don't know, Mattia, if you can probably answer that.
Sleep and deep sleep. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have the answer.
Yeah, okay. So, yeah, and there is a, can you use ML inference in MicroPython and Arduino? To be honest, I'm not completely sure. So if it can be done with MicroPython. Okay, so what I would encourage you to use is to explore edge impulse integration. We do have integration with machine learning tools, okay, in the cloud. So that's something that you could probably explore if you can do what you want to do using this integration. But I'm not completely sure about MicroPython and machine learning inference, to be honest. Can we import external data such as from weather websites into the cloud and then distribute it to connected devices? Okay, and not directly. This is a very nice question, and
I think it can be
I
done
love
with
these kind of questions.
Node-RED.
Not directly, but you can do it using the middleware approach that I described earlier. So you can create an application using Python or Node-RED or whatever, okay? And very easily you can connect things to the cloud. Using Node-RED, I have connected most of my devices at home. It's just having one node getting the information from the external data source and another one connecting to the cloud. So it's very easy to do that. And the good thing about that is that then once you have the information in the cloud, you can start using it across all your devices, because you can synchronize all your variables with different devices, and then you can start using the information in other devices. So that's an extremely cool feature that you can use in the cloud.
Correct.
Okay, and I think that we are over time almost. So I don't know, Julie, if you want to wrap.
I think we should wrap to give everyone time back. But
we will try to answer the questions that get unanswered, and I would like to apologize if we missed or skipped any of them. So yeah, we will try to do it after the event. You will have access to the event after the session too, okay, in the same link. But then, Julie, you can probably wrap.
All right. Thanks, David. Thank you for all the amazing speakers here and everyone for answering the questions and contributing to the session. We hope it was an insightful session. Based on the comments, I can read a lot of positive feedback. So thank you for that. If we missed your questions, again, we will have a chance to follow up with them. This YouTube stream will be still available for replay on demand, and you will still have a chance to submit your questions in there, and we will make sure to answer them. If you have 20 seconds left, please submit your feedback about the Arduino Cloud and what features or things you'd like to see as a next step. It's very important to us. And yeah, don't forget to that you have 1 month, 1 free month of Maker Plan with the Code Café 2023. So go ahead and check it out. All right, we'll probably have another Arduino Cloud Café in the next year. So stay tuned for an update from us. And thank you, everyone, and see you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.